What is popping, my Nintendo enthusiasts? I love Halloween. So why not make a top 10 scariest Nintendo characters list? Now, this list is going to have multiple of Pokemon characters, Legend of Zelda characters that are scary in their own way, either by looks or what they do to the character or characters that you play as. Now, this list was a bit harder than you might think because Nintendo characters aren't really the scariest. So, with all that being said, here are the top 10 scariest Nintendo characters. Starting with 10. I don't find this character that scary. I find him the opposite, which is cool. And that is King Boo. King Boo is from the Luigi's Mansion franchise. He captures and torments Luigi's family and friends in dark, creepy portraits that he turns those said characters into. Now, King Boo doesn't look scary to me. It's just what he does to the characters that's a little creepy. Think about it. Putting them in their own type of portrait where they can't breathe, move, or even live. They're pretty much dead at that point. However, I don't think King Boo is scary. I just feel like he's another Boo, but he's the king and he's slightly bigger than the other Boos. I don't know. I find him really cool though. Number 9. One of my favorite, if not my favorite ghost-type Pokemon is Drifloon, and even its evolution of Drifblim. However, Drifloon makes the list because of its Pokédex entry. The Pokédex entry reads, a Pokemon formed by the spirits of people and Pokemon. It loves damp, humid seasons. It tugs on the hands of children to steal them away. It is whispered that any child who mistakes Drifloon for a balloon and holds on to it could wind up missing. Drifloon is a balloon Pokemon. It is a ghost type because it steals children away up into the air where they are dead regardless, either through lack of oxygen or they let go of Drifloon and they fall to their deaths. Hopefully Drifloon steals their spirits by then, but who could even tell? This is scary because this is from a Pokemon game. There are other Pokemon on this list, but to me, this one is something very, very special. It kind of makes you look at balloons differently. Number 8. The moon from The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask is creepy for a couple reasons. One, its face is just hideously creepy. It just has a painful but also anger looking to it. And the second reason is the reasoning behind the moon. In Majora's Mask, you have 3 days to finish the game and stop the Skull Kid from making the world of Hyrule into pretty much being flattened by this moon. It's a sign of the world coming to an end and a huge demise against the Hyrule Kingdom. I just think that the moon is also suffering by just looking at its face, that it knows that the time is coming and that the closer it gets to the ground, to the village, to the castle, to the city, to Hyrule, the people know that the end is very, very near. Number 7. Another Pokemon entry is Yamas. Yamas is from Generation 5, Black and White, and Black and White 2. In the black version of the Pokédex, it reads, each of them carries a mask that used to be its face when it was human. Sometimes they look at it and cry. Very sad and very, very haunting. However, I think that they changed that for Black 2 and White 2 into White version's Pokédex entry, which reads, these Pokemon arose from the spirits of people interred in graves in past ages. Each retains memories of its former life. That's a lot more PG than the Black version Pokédex entry, even though, to me, the Pokemon Black Pokédex entry makes a lot more sense to that Pokemon. It's a very sad Pokemon that wishes it could go back to its human form and live once again. Number 6. Hyrule Warriors is a weird game in my opinion because I don't think it's part of a canon in the Legend of Zelda universe. It's more written as fanfiction. However, one character that comes to mind that is really strange and actually really terrifying the first time that you see this is Rizro. Rizro is a goblin-like creature in a robe and has one eye. Until that eye moves and you see a mouth. The first time I saw that, I was terrified and even questioning how this character can even live with his problem that he has going on between having his eye and his mouth fighting for attention. Number 5. Everyone's favorite ghost type Pokemon, Gengar. Now there's a few Pokedex entries I want to read about Gengar. However, Gengar is Clefairy's shadow, since they share the same height and same weight and same size. Many people have speculated that Gengar is Clefairy's shadow, so that means Gengar in a way was a Clefairy or is a Clefairy. However, a few Pokedex entries I want to read from Red and Blue. Under a full moon, this Pokemon likes to mimic the shadows of people and laugh at their fright. Pokemon Yellow, a Gengar is close by if you feel a sudden chill and may be trying to lay a curse on you. Pokemon Silver, to steal the life of its target, it slips into the prey's shadow and silently waits for an opportunity. Pokemon Crystal, hiding in people's shadows at night, it absorbs their heat. The chill it causes makes the victims shake. Ruby and Sapphire, sometimes on a dark night, your shadow thrown by a streetlight will suddenly and startlingly overtake you. It is actually a Gengar running past you, pretending to be your shadow. Pokemon Pearl, lurking in the shadowy corners of rooms, it awaits chances to steal its prey's life force. Pokemon Sword, on the night of a full moon, if shadows move on their own and laugh, it must be Gengar's doing. Pokemon Shield, it is said to emerge from darkness to steal the lives of those who become lost in mountains. So yeah, Gengar is all about shadows. This Pokemon is the, I don't want to say king of darkness in the Pokemon games, but he's pretty much, in my opinion, the jester of darkness when it comes to Pokemon games. Just waiting for the victim in the night of the shadow. Number 4. The last Pokemon entry is none other than Misuno. Now this is a weird entry because Misuno is a Pokemon, but at the exact same time it isn't. There are different forms of Misuno. I believe there are up to 5, and you can mostly see these forms in the past Pokemon games like Red, Blue, and Yellow. However, Misuno is used, it's a glitch Pokemon, and it is used to trigger some type of events in the Pokemon games, usually to get a certain amount of one item, say a lot of Master Balls or a lot of Rare Candy. But there are a few fun facts about Misuno. In later generations, other glitch Pokemon are sometimes referred to as Misuno, such as a whole bunch of question marks and even a whole bunch of hyphens. Despite this, the name Misuno is a misnomer in this case. They have little relation to the one found in Pokemon Red, Blue, or Yellow, so the Misuno in later generations are different than Red, Blue, and Yellow. Misuno's cry is generally the game's equivalent of a blank cry, a male Nidoran, and a pitch of 0 and no echo. This is because the cries of these Pokemon are undefined in the data structure. If you missing number have different cries, the fact that these cries are valid and not garbage data supports the view that Misuno at one point may have originally been a Pokemon that was deleted from the games. So that is something creepy of itself, that this could have been an actual Pokemon. I just find it really fascinating and wanted to put it on this list because it has 5 different forms, and each of the forms look terrifying. The one that I'm not terrified of, but it just looks really creepy to me, is the one with all the lines. It's kind of, I don't know the best way to describe it. It looks like it's like a big rectangle and a little rectangle kind of put together, and they're on their sides. Another one that I definitely know of is the one that kind of looks like a ghost with its hands turning down. I think that those two are the main forms of Misuno that people have seen and think of when they hear the word Misuno. But I feel like Misuno, I think, would have been a really cool Pokemon, but just the background history and the stories of Misuno, that's really the creepy part, and that Game Freak and the Pokemon Company know about this Pokemon but yet again, they won't have any additional comments to add on this type of Pokemon. Number 3. Legend of Zelda has some weird and scary enemies, like Dead Hand. Dead Hand is the mini-boss of the Shadow Temple and the bottom of the well in Ocarina of Time. Link must coax the creature to attack as its limbs are invulnerable. When he wanders too close to an infinite hand, it will grab him and hold him in place while its body erupts from the ground. So the body comes up from the ground if a hand grabs onto Link. This creature, just looking at it, because I don't think I've ever went up against it, I apologize, I'm not the biggest Legend of Zelda fan, he looks absolutely terrifying. Even like the fan art that people have made, it's just, oh my gosh, it is terrifying. He's like trying to eat Link in a way. His hands are holding Link down while the body erupts from the ground and wanting to take a bite out of Link. My gosh, this is terrifying. This enemy right here, this is a good, scary enemy from Nintendo. Number 2. Redead. I have some weird stories about this one. Playing Ocarina of Time as a kid and even Wind Waker as a kid and running into these enemies while their screams are so high-pitched that it sounds like someone is screaming because they are in pain or they are just so terrified to death. It freezes Link up while they get closer and suck out pretty much his life. They drain his soul within. I mean, just listening to it scream, I would be terrified too, that I wouldn't want to move. Number 1. Gigantas is an incredible final boss. However, he is terrifying. He has different forms as the battle goes on. Even some fans are speculating that it is an aborted fetus, all the way down to a skull, and then all the way to the point that it is moving so quickly that you don't know what it looks like, and it's weird. It's terrifying, mixed in with the music, mixed in with the type of anxiety it builds up on the player. But honestly, that is a well-written, scary character. It just really saddens me because we will never, ever get to experience this ever again, since it seems like Nintendo has moved on from the Earthbound franchise. That was the top 10 scariest Nintendo characters. Like I said before, this list was kind of hard to think of and come up with because Nintendo characters aren't really that scary, except for the 10 that you see here. Now, there were other scary type of Nintendo characters, they just didn't make the list. And of course, this was just my silly opinion. Let me know what your guys' is down in the comments down below. Make sure you give this video a like, subscribe, smash that bell with all that kind of good stuff, or smack that bell, you know, whatever this is, smash, whatever you want to take it as. And until then, I am going to try to get myself out of this hot dog costume and back to normal life. Until then, see you guys later.